Tier 3v3 Faction War Typhon Arena is Tyranids vs Imperial Guard Game 1. First up is Dark Riku as a Hive Tyrant, walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. Very good durability, fights in melee combat to start off, good offense and support. Alongside, Noisy is a Lictor Alpha melee specialist that can infiltrate and disrupt, has some really good offense too. And alongside, rounding off the Tyranid team is Floid as a Ravener Alpha tunneling commander with great mobility, good offense too, starts off in ranged combat. For the Imperial Guard, we have two Commissar Lords. First up is Yarrick, and alongside is Lag. These are offensive melee commanders with some really great support. And rounding off the Imperial Guard is Calzi 4's Inquisitor, who just got flesh hooked in her face. She's an offensive commander with awesome control ability, starts off in melee combat but can get ranged weapons. There is Hammer of the Witches, her starting ability, forcing off the Lictor Alpha there. She's now going to try and cap under fire but backs off. Multi-last turret already up here for Calzi 4. Sentinel backing off now, taking a lot of damage from Ravener Alpha and double termagants of Floid. Imperial Guard massing at the bottom. Hormagaunts are going to meet some Imperial Guards, and they are really split up here, these Hormagaunts. Now backing off from all that lasgun fire. Double termagants and the Hive Tyrant is there, has taken the power. Commissar Lord weighing into those Hormagaunts. Sentinel with the stomp was pretty much unneeded though. Should have saved it for the double termagants perhaps. What's going on bottom? Imperial Guard take the VP. If Hormagaunts trying to eat a node, those are Noisies. And a bunch of termagants died there. In fact 3 did, and here comes some Spore Mines for Dark Riku, sending them all the way up to the top. Hive Tyrant in amongst these guards, and those guys had the execution buff so couldn't retreat, but now they can. And lose all but 3 models. 484, 500. Interesting matchup, Imperial Guard versus Tyranids, I think. Imperial Guard do have a lot of good melee counters in Tier 1. The Inquisitor might go down here and does go down in retreat. We're just about to say the Imperial Guard have a lot of good ways to deal with melee, which a lot of people may not realise if they don't know the game, but Imperial Guard have Sentinels, Catachan Devils and a heavy weapon squad to help them counter melee, and a lot of Sentinels can be a problem for Tyranids because they can't get a setup team. We'll have to rely on Ravener Broods and Termagant Broods for range damage in Tier 1, which isn't ideal, though there are no slouches. Dark Riku with some Warrior Brood on the field now. Noisy also with Warrior Brood. He's gone double Hormagaunts, double Termagants. No Sentinel for Lag, which I find surprising. Sentinel's great versus Tyranids, I think. 484, 450. A tunnel up here, which is very annoying. Floyd using it to send these Hormagaunts in to the node. Lots of pressure on this node early on, and here comes Noisy with his entire army. Double Hormagaunts and Warriors. No, I tell a lie. Where are his Termagants? They are up top supporting Riku. 484, 439 in a firefight with double Guardsmen. These guys both have their Sergeants, taking them up to 9 models. Here comes a Sentinel for the stomp and gets both squads a little bit of damage, knockback and stun. Such an awesome ability. Ground Pound also gives plus 100 health. Still pressure on the power for Imperial Guard fighting back. I just saw Hammer of the Witches go in on those Warrior Brood. Can they get a model off them? Looks like they can't. Noisy going for the Barbed Strangler. Awesome area of effect suppression weapon. Dark Riku's Warriors in here, might lose a model. Now in retreat. Can the Commissar get one of them? This is Lags with Carapace armor. Don't see it all that often. Buffs his Inspire Courage ability. And what else does it do? Yeah, when you use it, you get a damage bonus and suppression immunity for your Commissar Lord. 473, 439. Backs off towards his triple Guardsmen, who all have Sergeants. And there is the execution Inspire Courage buff on these Guardsmen, buffing their damage by 100%, but you can no longer retreat with them, forcing off the Hive Tyrant there. As you can see, Lag very, very good at using his Inspire Courage buffs. Spore Mines coming in. These are Dark Riku's basically floating grenades. The Flesh Hook pulling the Commissar Lord off, puts his energy shield up, which he starts with, and starts to decap. Meanwhile, Tyranids have taken the bottom. 460, 439. That was a smoke shell from the artillery spotter squad of Calzi. Loses the model there. And now a heavy weapon squad on the way. Nice tier 1 build from Kalzi, I think. Double guardsmen, sentinels, spotters, and a heavy weapon squad. Ravener Brood up for Floid in their melee state for now, with power melee and that awesome burrow strike, of course. Sentinel follows them though and stomps in their faces. This is a multi-lash turret up by Kalzi. Good damaged infantry from reasonable range, about the same range as a squad of guardsmen, I would say. Raveners losing a model to that Hammer of the Witches and almost losing another, perhaps lucky not to, and they do in fact lose another. Raveners always bleed you a hell of a lot. 460, 430, a 2-to-1 cap for the Tyranids. Putting pressure on his power again is Noisy, infiltrating his Lictor Alpha there. Getting kitted out with Siding Talons, which are a power melee weapon, and also Adrenal Glands. Hitting power, using his Lictor Alpha to distract stuff meanwhile, and there is Scythe. Suppress and knock back. Not convinced it was the best choice versus Imperial Guard. Power weapon unneeded until Ogryns hit the field, and that suppress and knockback is not something I'm terribly impressed with. Would have gone with Toxin Miasma. 460, 416, double Hormagaunts getting too close to base and need to retreat. Here comes Yarrick from the top to support. Gonna force melee on those Hormagaunts. Guardsmen obviously quite pathetic in melee, even with their squad leaders. 460, 416, still the 1-to-1 cap. Body Imperial Guard are taking bottom, and a heavy weapon squad is up with a heavy bolter for Kalzi 4. Lots and lots of constant pressure by Noisy on this power. In fact, I've not seen him bottom much at all. Hive Tyrant of Dark Riku pushing against the Imperial Guard and gets a sync kill on a poor little guardsman. And here is the Inspire Courage buff again, using that very, very well to put pressure quickly on the Hive Tyrant, because they don't want him running around bullying stuff with his size. 460, 407, there's the 2-to-1 for the Tyranids, and Dark Riku goes tier 2. Yarrick already there, and Lag is already there, getting a Stormtrooper squad. What's going on bot? There is Crippling Volley from the Inquisitor on those Warrior Brood. Talking about melee counters, the Inquisitor has such awesome control abilities. She can shut down several melee squads by herself with the Purgatus and Excruciators and that crossbow bolt pistol. 460, 396, not to mention a default Hammer of the Witches, of course. Even more pressure here on this power. This is crazy. Dark Riku with double Termagants. All 4 of these Termagant squads, in fact, with Toxin Sacks. Pretty much a no-brainer upgrade for that squad. There's a Fragmentation Grenade from the Stormtroopers, nicely done by Lag. And he has a Manticore on the way, needs to make that thing count. Lictor Alpha getting low, level 2, takes down the power, needs to retreat now, and does. Might not get away though. Down to 12 hit points and does get away. Here is the first Manticore strike. This is Yarrick's. Didn't do a whole lot, but did force off the Tyranids. And here it is. Heavy artillery piece, good damage and range to say the least. But vulnerable. It looks like Yarrick has lost his sentinel at the top. Bunch of guardsmen died there, but his Commissar Lord is capping that contested power. Here comes the Hive Tyrant, who's level 2 without any war gear, getting a zone throw is Dark Riku. The Raven Alpha also without war gear, still level 1, just hitting tier 2 now. 2 Manticores on the field, can they make those things count? Kalzi 4 with a nice varied army, getting some Stormtroopers now. 418, 396, 2-to-1 cap for the Imperial Guard. This multi-lash turret is finally going to go down, it looks like. Yes. And Floyd, keeping his Raveners in their melee state, will most likely stick to it now. Give his Warrior Brood the melee synapse, and there it is, the Adrenal Glands. These Raveners now with 1440 hit points at level 1, and there is the Burrow Strike, forcing off those heavy weapon squad immediately. Down goes this Sentinel as well, I would think. Maybe 29 hit points. A tier 1 vehicle, but it does have heavy infantry armor, and there is the triple or double repair, and there's the stomp. Sentinel survives for now. 372, 396. It might go down though. There is 12 hit points up, and Barb Strangler suppressed all those guards so they couldn't keep up with it to repair, but it does live. Another Barb Strangler shot. Really nice push from the Tyranids. Floid perhaps overextending a bit too much. A nice retreat grenade. Didn't get a model off those warriors though. What is this? It's a Bane Wolf dropped by Calzi 4. A pretty awesome little vehicle, I think. Unique to the Inquisitor, so you don't see it all that often. That Bile Spewer thing, whatever it's called, not sure what it's actually called. Passively slowing units that it fires upon. Does pretty good DPS and is absolutely awesome for taking down structures. Warrior Brood going up against it though with these adrenal glands, and they're doing some pretty nice DPS. Floyd also has the Great Devourer with corrosive shots. Wow, Bane Wolf almost went down immediately there. Calzi 4 looks like he underestimated the damage of that Warrior Brood. Down goes that Capillary Tower. Might see a lot of infestation towers now that we are in tier 2. In fact, there is one. This is Floyd's. Looks like he's building a tunnel somewhere. Lictor Alpha being very, very annoying. Has the Lone Hunter. 355, 365. The Bane Wolf survives. What's going on top? Catachan Devil's up for Commissar Yarrick, but he's lost his other... He's lost the Guardsman squad, sorry. So just the Guardsman squad, Catachans, and the Manticore for now. 355, 343. Zone Thrope is up. Needs something to put pressure onto this, which is not that easy for Imperial Guard. Could shut it down with a spotter. It's a single cap for the Tyranids. 355, 326. Here comes the Bane Wolf up against a whole bunch of stuff there, backing off. Sentinel and Guardsman also there. There's a Hell Fury strike from Calzi 4. Global ability of the Inquisitor. Heavy Weapon Squad are there with their refractor field up, preventing knockback. Ravener Broods are going to Burrow Strike, not knocked back, but now in trouble. An instant retreat there. 355, 313. Very, very surprised not to see any bunkers down here, which got their upgrades reduced in cost a few patches ago. Power again under pressure from Noisy. Bane Wolf might go around and hit this power now. Looks like it's going top to support. In fact, Yarrick under pressure. 355, 284. Riku has both of the naturals. Sentinel here to decap though. This is Calzi 4 all the way from the bottom. Antical strikes going off, but easily dodged by Riku. Here come Catachan Devils, really versatile infantry. Can counter melee, can disrupt and support. And they have their Sarge and Demolition Man there. Double Assault Kit Stormtroopers for Commissar Lag, I should say. Awesome DPS from range. Look at the range they have. As those Hormagaunts retreat, down goes the Bane Wolf of Calzi 4. He has a Manticore also. So you have 3 Manticores up. 355, 249. Unfortunately for Imperial Guard, it's pretty much the only artillery piece that you have. Very situational and doesn't always pay for itself. Gets a Ravener Brood model there. That's pretty much the only thing I've seen it do. 355, 248. 100 power, of course, for a Manticore. Really needs to make up its cost. Hormagaunts in amongst those Stormtroopers. That was a nice strike. Killed only 2 models though, I think. This forced off the Tyranids, and his Warrior Brood again get away without a loss. Manticore strikes damage reduced by 75% on retreating units. Lag has double Plasma Gun Guardsman, I should say. 1 Guardsman squad still with their default las guns. 347, 248. Floyd up top supporting with a VP cap here. Yarrick going for some Ogrins. 450, 90 to get these guys on the field, and Regenerate is up for the Ravener Alpha. Makes him pretty damn tough. Dark Riku's Hive Tyrant with those Crushing Claw. Awesome heavy melee weapon. The most powerful heavy melee weapon in the game in terms of DPS for a commander. 108 DPS I believe it is. Pretty nuts. Raveners Burrow striking in. This heavy weapon squad has been shut down pretty quickly by Floyd with that. Has used his Raveners well. Here's a Manticore strike on the VP, and another one here. Or was it? No, that was the Basilisk Flare, I believe. There is a Manticore though. Artillery spotters also dropped smoke, but now They're just going after this power again. So much power harass. Have not seen the guard push against this one at all yet. 347, 224. Lictor Alpha getting too close to base, runs away. Imperial Guard under so much pressure here. Can they rally and push the Tyranids off, get a power bash or two in, and get some model losses? More importantly, Tyranids doing well, very well so far at pushing, harassing, and then retreating without lots of losses. Venom Brood up for Dark Riku, preparing himself for inevitable vehicles in Tier 3. Floid, on the other hand, is Tier 3 and is going for a Doom of Malantai. Warrior Brood, sorry, Venom Brood do lose a model there. And Tyrant Guard is up for Noisy. 2,500 hit points of super heavy infantry armor, getting a speed buff from the infestation tower there. Really needs Synapse to be truly effective though. As you can see, it's very slow without it, and taking damage from plasma guns and that heavy weapon squad in its face. These stormtroopers getting the anti-armor kit, so this Tyrant Guard in trouble. Such an awesome special attack though there. 345, 224. This thing does 95 heavy melee damage per hit, not DPS, per hit, and it attacks pretty damn quickly as well. Warrior Brood losing 2 models. Wow, and that one was lucky that it was split up there. This Tyrant Guard is going to go down. Noisy, very, very sloppy there with his Tyrant Guard. What was he trying to do? Push it in all that way without support, and Yarrick, sorry, this is Commissar Lags, Commissar Lord, takes the top 2 VPs. Has Aura of Discipline. Termagant's shooting him up, and here comes the heavy melee Hive Tyrant, and Lag just runs the hell away. Ogrins are up for Yarrick. Heavy melee disruption squad, really good line breakers and very tough as well. Just idle up there for now though. Infestation tower going down. They really need to kill these things when they see them. Double Termagants of Floid lurking. That power's completely destroyed. This one only has 2 generators up, and there's the node going up as well. Tyranids haven't really made a run that I've seen for the Manticores. They have been close to base a few times, so perhaps they have been trying. But as I said, this one's level 2, level 1, and level 1. I don't think they've quite paid for themselves yet. 303, 224, Noisy now with a Genestealer Brood under melee Synapse when his Warrior Brood is back out. Synapse is shared for Tyranids, so if your teammate has melee Synapse, you can use that. Wow, big Manticore strike there, killed about 8 Termagants and might wipe the squad with the Hell Fury. Almost did, wiped one of them, and there's a rocket run as well. Really awesome combination of globals and Manticore strike, and that was painful. What was that? That was a fragmentation grenade on his own stuff, I think. 282, 224. And there's a spotter shell going in. Doom of Malantai is up. Really awesome area of effect and damage over time specialist. 281, 224. There is Paroxysm, doing a percentage of health damage per second. Dark Riku's Hive Tyrant on capping duty. Eating a Manticore strike though, might go down here, and does go down. Catachans getting a last shot with their melter gun. 281, 219. Matt looking pretty good for Tyranids so far, but it's not over. Doom Malantai under pressure. Shield ripped apart by all of this range fire, and it's forced to retreat. Boom, what was that? That was Emperor's Wrath from Commissar Lag. Lictor Alpha being annoying. 281, 208. And a bunker finally going up in the bottom. This is from Cowsey Fort. Probably a medical bunker, but we'll see. You can't actually see what type of bunker it is by selecting it. That's to prevent your enemy from seeing what kind of bunker it is as well. Improvised explosive up top. And here are the Ogrins. Haven't seen these guys in combat yet, but they have a bit of experience, so they have been in combat. Yarrick with the Power Fist, Bionic Eye, and Stubbornness. Pomegons do not want to fight that. 281, 207. Here comes the Swarm Lord though for Dark Riku. Painful. Ogrins do have heavy melee, so can put pressure on it. But if he gets into melee with them and uses the Blade Storm, they are going to hurt. Are we going to see it here? No. Uses Leech Essence instead. Ogrins forced off. Anti-Ghost Strike doesn't do a whole lot. Imperial Guard do kind of have the bottom under control. They have a bunker there. But Floid is capping and has acid splatter. Did not expect him to change weapon. This is now a power melee splash damage. The splash isn't power melee though, as you can see, it's piercing. 281, 207. Imperial Guard doing a reasonable job here, holding on. They have a 1-to-1 cap. And another heavy weapon squad on the way, this time for Yarrick to go top. Spotters level 3 for Calzi Fort. Doesn't look like he's given him their tier 2 upgrade though. No plus icon. You saw the Inspire Courage from Lag on his Stormtroopers, and there is Paroxysm. And that Commissar Lord is level 8, wow. Inquisitor's level 3, has the Inferno Pistol and Mandate. And Yarrick's is also level 3. Hive Tyrant still down up here. Dark Riku asking for a res. Here come Catachans under Inspire Courage. That might be Inspire Determination, in fact it is. 281, 154, there's the triple cap. And there is Leech Essence from the Swarm Lord, draining health from all of these enemies and returning it to the Swarm Lord. Ouch. Ogren's now going after the Warriors though. Disruption from lead. Sorry, not lead by example, use your red. Las Cannon getting shots on the Swarm Lord. 281, 124, triple cap for the Tyranids. Imperial Guard trying to take back the bottom. So much power harass down here from Noisy. Putting pressure and splitting up the Guard forces. Gene Stealers going after Guardsman right near base. Base turret weighing in. There's a Manticore strike. Where's it going? Going on this little Termagant rod. But they survive. There's a Hell Fury again. 281, 88. There is Paroxysm and Absorb Life from the Doom Malantite. Inquisitor trying to put pressure on it. 281, 78. There's the double cap for the Tyranids, and they should have this wrapped up. What is this? It's Yarrick's. Commissar Lord going top to decap. 281, 65. There's the triple. And look at all these infestation towers here, boosting the speed of stuff as it comes out of base. And Carnifex up for Dark Riku. Noisy and Floid losing a lot of stuff here. 281, 49. Anti-armor kit, Stormtroopers. Can the Imperial Guard capitalize here? Floyd losing his Termagants to that Hell Fury, I assume. Didn't retreat out of it. 281, 35. Warrior Brood on the way for Noisy. They still have the double though. There's a Tyranids formation. Yarrick trying to push back. And there's the double cap still. 281, 14. Yarrick unable to get his natural back. But they need the bottom back as well. Unable to capitalize with not much time on the sudden thin rosters of the Tyranids. And the Tyranids take it. Wow. So much harassment on this power, which I think pretty much won the game. Kept the Imperial Guard pushed back, and they forced them off with not much losses. Tyranids always getting away with fuller squads until the end, when Noisy and Floyd lost a bunch of stuff. Barb Strangle effects up at the end for Dark Riku. Was surprised that he went for the Hive Tyrant at the top of the map, but worked out reasonably well. And there's the game one, guys. Tyranids taking the first. I will see you next time.